Bizbly Nation, what's up? It's Stos going over today's chart, which is November 10th, 2016. And pretty crazy sell off here. You can see the range is from about 218.50 to around below 215.50. So that's about a $3 range in about an hour and a half here. That's pretty big, right? And again, you guys are probably getting sick and tired of hearing me say this, but I am doing these videos after the fact. Right now it's March 5th, and this day is November 10th. And I just want to say that today is actually going to be another losing day, which is kind of odd, right? Because my whole strategy is to create winners. And the last 3 out of 4 trading days that I've shown you guys have been losers. But normally, I win on average over 70% of the time. So the stats aren't adding up here. Well, it's about number of occurrences, right? After this video, you are going to see 9 trading days in a row that I won. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything like that. I'm saying that to really stress the importance of probabilities and letting your strategy play out. Okay, 4 trades is not a lot of trades. It's not a good sample size. But when you start talking about over 10, over 20, over 30, over 40, over 50 trades, now we get a better sample size. Well, 3 out of my last 4 days have been losers, but 9 in a row after this one will be winners. That's going to bring the total to 10 winners and 3 losses, which is over 70% winning percentage, right? So it's just kind of funny how these numbers and these probabilities play out, and it's real important to know your trading stats, everything about them, because I think it helps you realize what you're lacking in, what you're strong in, and helps mold your strategy. Okay, let's get into the day. It's also really cool for me to do these because it helps myself learn by picking apart what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right, and it's really cool to go back to these November trades. Right now it's March, so talking 4 or 5 months ago, right? And it's just really cool to see how I've evolved and how I may not have taken certain setups now, and just how the strategy has molded and is helping me going forward for sure. So my first entry was right here at around 1033 at 216.36. And I mean, this is a pretty aggressive bear leg. We're getting consecutive bear bars, a lot closing near their lows, on their lows, stuff like that. Look at these bull bars. They're non-existent, right? More bear bars closing on their lows, even more. So this is very aggressive. Chances are the first couple of reversals up are going to fail. The best the bulls are going to be able to get is sideways, I would say. And I was triggered on this stop entry here above this bar, and whoosh, I was taken out pretty quickly. But as soon as I was taken out down here at 1039 for $1 loss, I re-entered again at 1042 right on top of this bar and was able to catch my trade to VWAP, because at this time I'm only going to VWAP in November and December. In January, February, March, that's when I'm trying to tag out at the +1 band, but for November and December I was just tagging out at VWAP. So a couple of things here. I made 2 trades today, and I made one after I had a max loss. Okay, that's a big no-no. I won't be doing that anymore. So it's kind of cool just to see how the strategy has evolved. I'll say it again. Another thing is, this is a $3 range in an hour and a half. $3 is a big range. Whenever we have a range like that, I need to be in with half size. Now, that's easier to do if I'm trading SPY. When I move on to ES, it's going to be a little harder to do because one ES contract will be my max size. I can't really split that up, so there's no real way for me to trade small. In that case, maybe you go to the shortest expiration cycle, 1 day out, 3 day out, and just buy an at the money option. That'll give you 50 deltas, so it'll be about half of a futures contract. So that'll be something else that I need to think of. Maybe if you're already at that point or at the luxury of disposable income enough to trade futures contracts to learn on, and you're already trading the futures contracts, then great. Now it's going to move a little bit different. The spread's going to be a little bit off. You'll get a little more slippage, things like that. That's why they're not ideal to trade. It's better just to trade the futures contract outright rather than the futures option. But nonetheless, it can be a good alternative if something like this happens and it's a $3 range and you don't feel comfortable going in with your normal size, or you cannot trade small enough to make the trade worth it for you. You might want to just think about going into the option market and defining your risk that way. So I digress. Anyways, the next entry here was at 1042 at 215.71, and I exited at 1144 right here at the tag of VWAP for 88 cents. Now that brings the day just to a small $16 loss with commissions if you're trading 100 shares. So it was actually just a 12-cent loss altogether. And then $1 per 100 shares in and out just brings it to a $16 loss altogether. Again, this is just classic oversold, overhyped fear. These are aggressive entries for sure. So you need to trade these small, and with a range so big, we need to find ways to trade them small and not make mistakes that I did by getting in too early, getting in with too big of size. I see in my Excel template here, I said if I had just gone in with half size with 50 shares and used a $2 stop, so it would be the same risk as I usually take, just $100 in risk, but I only have 50 shares instead of 100, so I can give myself a $2 stop. I would not have been stopped out if I had done that. So that's kind of cool to know, and cool that I noted in the template there, and the templates are available for you guys to check out. I think you guys should. I think you guys should make your own templates. Hopefully that helps you out a lot. Well, I know I'm doing a lot of talking about theory here and not much about the setup, but you guys already know my setups, right? I'm just picking bottoms, and I'm just showing you different charts, different forms of my setup. And it's just really cool. Like I said, it helps me just to kind of get this collage of charts up together. Obviously, I have the screenshots because that's what I'm showing you it off here. But just to talk a little bit more about the setup, really aggressive leg down. Chances are first reversal up is going to fail. This is the real first time that the bulls get any sort of reversal up. Bull bars closing on their highs, big bodies, that's nice, but the best the bulls are going to be able to get is sideways for about 10 to 15 bars, I would say. And then here we are, we're getting kind of our second push up, lower high, major trend reversal, maybe I would call it. And this was really the best signal bar, not the greatest entry bar here if you took it, but nonetheless took you up to VWAP. And this time it didn't even chop, right? Usually we get that test of VWAP and some type of chop. Well, this was just a test of VWAP and then finally breaking through, tagging that +1 band and pretty much going sideways into the end of the day. So the most important things to really take from, I think, this trade analysis video is recognize the range. If the range is too big, don't be a hero. I happen to get lucky, but this could have easily been another $200 loss day like we saw a few days ago, a few trade analysis videos ago. And we don't want that, right? The key to trading is trading small. If you can find ways to trade small, keep yourself in the trade, you are going to find consistency and give yourself a fighting chance at being profitable at this over the long haul, into longevity, and knowing how and why you are profitable, which is really the most important part to it. Another thing to take away from this video is chances are that these really aggressive legs are going to have more than one chance to reverse up and more than one chance for you to get in it before it does actually play out. So I need to do a better job at recognizing which bear legs are aggressive like this and avoid the first reversal up, as opposed to which bear legs are not very aggressive, like say this little bear leg down here. See that? No consecutive bear bars really, I guess a couple here. But these bars aren't really closing on their lows. It's already after a little bull leg up. So there's a big difference between something like this and something like this. Even this one, a little aggressive, right? 4 bear bars in a row, but you can see most of them not closing on their lows. And you can see how it's also the second leg down after the really climatic leg. So that's what makes this a lot weaker than this. I would say that the low of the day was broken and that we doubled this range, which is true, but that probably only brings us to about here. And then, of course, the markets have inertia. They tend to keep doing what they have been doing. So they go a little too far, and then they notice that they've gone too far, and it snaps back up. And then it's just searching to find the next best price, right? So I know I kind of threw a lot at you guys in there, but I think there were some really good takeaways. I hope you guys got them. Look out for the next videos where we can actually put some wins on the board, and I can show you guys what this whole creating winners thing is all about. And remember, it's just these little tiny things that separate the intermediate trader from the seasoned trader. You know, really recognizing which bear legs I want to be aggressive on, rather which bear legs I should wait out for like a second or third entry. Or trading half size instead of full size when the range is way too large, right? It's these little things that separate that intermediate trader that is making money consistently, can prove it, has all the backup for it, from a seasoned vet who has kind of been doing it for 10 years and doesn't even really need the backup anymore because his life is kind of the backup as opposed to the traditional trading journals and trading screenshots and stuff like that. So anyways, guys, hope you got something out of that. Look forward to the next videos to come, and I will catch you there. Stos out!